So, so let's hit the big Rebirth stories to see what you're thinking there. Number one, Doctor Manhattan created the New 52.
Interesting concept, but just leaves me going,
Stirring.
that's cool, I guess. I mean, if that's definitely a route you could have gone, DC.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Watchmen being, though, now that they're pretty much in the excuse me, they are now in the Marvel or not Marvel. What the hell's wrong with you, Kyle? How do you feel now that the Watchmen are in the DC universe? Or they haven't been revealed yet, but you see the what's his name, the comedian's pin. Batman discovers that. Really, you're that excited about it?
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things that's really. There's a lot of different ways that you could go with that. I mean, it'd be cool to have like a one-time crossover type deal, where like the worlds kind of collide. Because Watchmen has always been, in a sense,
Off by itself.
yeah. I also don't want to say like the gold standard, but that's the only words that are coming to mind right now. But as far as like comic book, like real world comic book universes go, that's kind of how that's what you judge everything against, because it's so realistic and so just well put together, you know, and it's there's so many layers to it. It was interesting to me to read about Watchmen. You know, obviously the kid in the Watchmen book is reading a pirate comic, and all the comic shops in the Watchmen artwork in the background are always pirate themed.
Yep.
And that's because they didn't have superhero comics in that world, because superheroes are real. Like, so pirate comics became a popular thing.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very like it's a very solid universe. There's really no way to, you know, not a lot of holes in it, you know, except for the occasional squid. But so to have it all of a sudden say, oh yeah, by the way, Batman and Superman and all these guys might be part of the same world, I really don't like that idea. 'Cause it's just, what's the point then? And what was the point of Watchmen? The Watchmen deconstructs the superhero world. That's, to have it be the same part of it is just, it's running back on itself. Not a fan.
Not a fan?
Not a fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. There's no need to put those characters into the DC universe.
Exactly.
I didn't really feel like there was a big point before Watchmen.
Well, and so...
In all fairness, I didn't read the books, but from what I read, you know, the best reviews I got were lukewarm to,
Yeah.
It was okay.
So let's look at something else too. Watchmen, book I love, book I've read a couple times. By the time Watchmen is taking place, it's 1985, you know, it's alternate 1985, whatever. Most of the guys that were in the Minutemen or whatever are like dead or inactive, so great, let's bring them into this world where they're not going to do anything. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm a member of the DC universe now, but I'm going to remain just as active as I am now. It's I don't know, it's just stupid. Like, there's no point to bring them in at all.
Okay. Second big. You don't like this one either. So this one we're looking at right now is the fact that there is now 3 Jokers.
This one I don't hate as much.
So the idea is that in one of the recent Justice League issues, I believe it was issue 52. Yeah, 52 if I'm not mistaken. Batman sits down in the Morbius chair, or Mobius, not Morbius, excuse me, Mobius chair, and basically he gets to ask the question he's always wanted to know, which is who is the Joker, and then he goes, "Oh my God, no!" And turns out that now in Justice League 50 we get the answer, and that there's actually 3 Jokers.
Yeah.
So it's the idea that, you know, like the Killing Joke Joker and Capullo and Snyder's Joker and basically that they're not all the same guy.
Right, right.
So...
And this one I don't hate as much as the Watchmen one, because this one I feel can be interpreted multiple different ways, with the different Earths and universes and all that kind of stuff. And then it's one of those things that can, I guess the Watchmen thing could be too, but it could be just as easily reset, just with the click of with one issue. Go, oh nope, that's not canon anymore.
Yeah, because I mean, and truly, we still haven't given the Joker a definitive origin.
Right.
We're just saying that there's possibly more of them.
Right, and it's just one of those little ticks, I think, because that's kind of what makes the Joker so special and cool, is that he is one of those guys who always shows up in the right place at the right time. So for there to be three of them, it kind of lessens the impact of that in a sense, but not.
A thing to note too is if you've read Batman Endgame, you will also know that essentially while Batman's going through and he's doing research on the Joker, he sees a tall, pale, Joker-esque looking man throughout all of Gotham's history.
Right.
So he goes back like hundreds of years and he sees all these different Jokers, and that's his thing, is he says there's no way that this guy could be this old. He could be going there. And essentially what happens is that they end up fighting each other, but Batman discovers that Joker knows about this pool liquid that basically it's a Lazarus pit is what it is. It heals you and it gives you all these, heals you and everything else like that. So Joker has access to that, so once again it's hard to know.
Yeah, and I thought there was one theory that was pitched around that time too. I thought I remember hearing, but like somebody had said, thrown out the idea that the Joker like might be the devil incarnate or something like that. And that's one of those that starts kind of dipping into Spawn territory. Yeah, but that's a really cool concept, I think, because it's one of those
Batman
things.
and Spawn have crossed over a couple times.
This is true. I actually have an issue that right over here somewhere. But yeah, because that's one of those things you can't really define. Again, like Joker is the devil, but what does that actually mean? Right. So I don't know. I mean, the whole three Jokers thing, it can be reset with a single line if a writer so pleases. I guess I don't hate it, and I should be thankful they're not finally just trying to give him a definitive origin, because that's my number one thing, is the Joker does not have a single definitive origin.
Do you feel that takes away from the character?
An origin? Yes.
Now that he won't be unknown, that he's just...
Right. I think the moment you give the Joker an origin is the moment the Joker dies.
He's no longer special.
Right. Well, and it kind of breaks down too in a sense of where Batman is defined by his origin. Batman watched his parents get murdered and he chose to fight crime, and he chose to study for years, and he chose to do all that, whereas Joker is defined by his lack of an origin. Joker has no single origin. He has no backstory or anything like that, so because he has it, he can be anything the world needs him to be at any point in time, which is what makes him such a great foil to Batman, because Batman is set. Batman has his one rule, and Batman has his, whatever, his guidelines and all that, and Joker has nothing, so he's able to constantly just be the opposite of Batman.
Now, I will also point out, too, that Ternes subscribes to, or at least likes the idea of Grant Morrison's idea that the Joker suffers from super sanity, which is an idea that basically the Joker is so insane that he adapts to the world around him.
Right. He's able to recreate himself to be whatever he needs to be in any given situation. Super sanity. It's awesome.
So other Flash, or not Flashpoint, wow, that was years ago. Other Rebirth stuff that's going on. Wonder Woman has a twin brother named Jason.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so places to go there.
Yeah.
And Superman is the pre-New 52 Superman again, so I believe it's him with Lois, and
okay.
It's the one that everybody liked, apparently. Apparently everyone that liked Superman, they weren't a big fan of the... I've been reading the New 52 Superman. I wasn't... It was okay. Yeah. I mean, I kind of liked it. wasn't in love with it.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with them switching it back. The only thing they really did with him was he had that big explosion power that he had.
Yep.
Where basically I can't even remember what it's called. But
he could release the sun's energy.
Release all of his energy at once, and then he was human for 24 hours or
Yeah.
however long he had, and it turned out to be Vandal Savage that was doing something to him. And
so I gotta say one other thing too about Rebirth and all that noise. I feel like Rebirth is kind of, in a sense, DC trying to do damage control on New 52, but they're like 2 years too late.
Well, I don't think it's so much damage control on New 52 as I do. It's damage control on what was it? Resurgence? Convergence, thank you. Convergence was terrible.
Yeah.
Just a stupid idea. Nobody liked Convergence.
Yeah.
It was, let's bring back your favorite characters for 2 issues.
Yep.
And then it's the idea that we're going to break down the multiverse. And once again, it's Brainiac, because why not Brainiac?
Yep.
He's making the world out of all his different planets, and it didn't really go anywhere, and it wasn't that good. And so, yeah, I think you're right. This is almost an apology for, I'd say Rebirth is an apology for
for Convergence.
Convergence.
I could buy into that. Because it seems like ever since New 52 came out, like people have been complaining about New 52 since it became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's died down over the last year or so, but never really stopped. And also like, okay, by the way, this is
because I kind of feel with New 52. I mean, they made choices that some people didn't like, and some characters weren't the greatest, but it was still pretty good overall.
Yeah.
I feel, but obviously those people want to hang on to their continuity.
Right.
But yeah, Convergence was. Aqualad is gay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh well.
Yep, it's
not a big deal.
And it's the Aqualad from Young Justice.
That's awesome. Young Justice needs to get more recognition.
Jackson Hyde, which is his name. And yeah, that's basically that's the big ones. That's the big things. Wally West shows back up, but I believe he disappears right away. So
typical
Wally.
That guy. Yeah, I swear to God.
That guy. But yeah, so that's the biggest ones for DC's Rebirth. Why don't you give us a comment down below? Let us know what you think. Did you hate these changes? Do you feel that this was needed, or did you like Convergence? I mean, did we find the holy grail of comic fans, ones that actually like Convergence? And I'm not just talking like an issue or two. I'm talking about the whole thing. Yeah.
Let us know, man.
Let us know.